let's see. Alright, so I did mention our goal is going to be to build up our farm, so we need to do that at some point, but right now I'm noticing that we don't have the construction capacity because this is paused, I think. Oh, we can resume it. Okay. So we'll do that. Hope everyone's having a good weekend, to be honest. I'm enjoying myself. Taking the day off and stuff and just relaxing. I do have some stuff I need to get done later on, so I won't be live all day. But yeah. Luckily, we don't have as many like angry citizens now, so. I don't think we're gonna do that yet. I think right now we're better off as a subject of the U.S. than we are as independent, so we'll just remain that until we can build up our economy as much. And we also do get a benefit by being a subject as our population. The one problem is we will be... If I can get that to stay. So for every certain amount of our GDP, some of it is going to go to the U.S., which we want to change eventually by getting independence, but we can't really do that until we have a higher population for our soldiers and stuff. And just general jobs, because right now we can't even support all our industries that our nation would need because of our lack of population. So until then, we're going to work on our economy. And I'm thinking our next construction after the paper mill is going to be our maize farms, or the tool mill, workshop, whatever you want to call it. Although we might want to build a railway, now that I think about it. And we'll skip out on the tooling workshop until we have the railway. And once we build the railway, we're going to build this And yeah. Don't really care about that. Or we're going to get restricted child labor because we don't want our potential population dying in factories. Because see right here, currently we have 5, 5, 5, and 5 mortality to all workers. But the one thing about that is they get income. So what we don't want to do is make it compulsory for primary school until we have like, I don't know. We could do that, but then that would make them less well off income wise. So we'll do that first. And yeah. And then after we do that, we might try and work on rights when it comes to segregation. See, we could also get a healthcare system better than what we currently have, because we currently don't have any healthcare. We're going to send our troops over there to get some training, just for the hell of it. Because if we were to send them in on a actually, you know what? We only have cavalry in this army, so we might not do that yet, but we could if we what are all these rivalries just broke? Huh. Huh. Wonder why this is. Let's see something real quick. Is the US now greater or lesser in rank? Let's see. It could be lesser because of the war they lost against Great Britain, but it also could be more. This sort of war against, all this. And it's definitely lesser. Because they're not even on the power blocks. I can't even. They're too low of a rank to have a power block now. At that point, it might be worth breaking away from the US. I'd do better off alone, to be honest. Especially when it comes to let's enable transit via railway for these logging camps. That'd make the railways more profitable, actually, so that's good. And we'll also do that for the plantations. We can do that as well. Let's see what that does to the profitability of the railways. It's looking like we don't even need to subsidize these anymore, actually. And given that they're profitable now, we might see an increase in hiring, and possibly we don't need to improve our, or like not improve, but increase our railway infrastructure, because this will be more people there. Let's see what it's looking like on trade infrastructure. We're still negative on trade infrastructure, so we may not do that yet, but we'll see. Because this is only a fifth of what it will be when it's finished hiring. I don't know why the U.S. went right after Venezuela. Should have gone after Haiti or one of these nations first. That's what I always do. I find that's the best way to monopolize the Caribbean is first take a treaty port in Haiti, then some of these, possibly Honduras. You have Puerto Cortes, or Cortes, and this one, which you can take. Which, if you take that, for example, it's right as on a border with Colombia. So from there, you can take Panama, the state of it, and use it to build the Panama Canal. All right, let's see. I'll check something. All right, cool. We may want to build up our military a bit more so we can get involved in different situations that go around the globe. But I'm thinking we'll just try and remain a subject of the U.S. until we can thoroughly submit our independence, or cement. I mean, not submit. Close that. Actually, it looks like we're doing good now on infrastructure. So maybe what we'll do is we'll cancel this and have this build. But realistically, what we do need to do is just increase our migration to our territory. Because I think our problem is we don't have enough employees. But for this, we do have enough employees. What we don't have is enough income. So we're having a budget issue. I could raise the taxes. I don't want to, but I think we might have to, just temporarily. Do services, tobacco. Okay, let's do services for now. And to get the service taxes higher, what we may do is go on our urban centers and enable trams. Also, we can do gas streetlights for the other coal that we have. And we don't have access to glass, so we may not do market squares yet, but we probably could, but that would make it unprofitable, would it? No, doesn't look like it. So all these goods, aside from the lumber, are imported, but the lumber is being used in a lot of manufacturing processes. We may go by just pausing our construction for a bit and try and stabilize our economy. I don't know if that'll be able to do anything. We might have to, I don't know, like, would that change anything? No, it wouldn't really. Um, import some paper. Actually, that might be why we're having a bureaucracy issue. Let's see about trade routes. Oh, let's cancel all these. Cancel just all of them. This might solve things, actually, now that I think about it. Now we have no tax waste. We have a bonus to state construction efficiency, and our income is going up. This is great. This is solving most things, I think. Now, what we could do, we'll figure out what we need, like, that the U.S. doesn't have in its markets, and we'll import that. So, let's click on the U.S. market. I think we really just need to reevaluate things. That's all we needed to do. So, the U.S. doesn't have pretty much nothing they don't have, except for, it looks like silk. No, they have that too. But that might have been what we had. It says produced in synthetic plant and silk plantation. Well, I don't know if there's anywhere they do have a silk plantation. It might have been our import. Yeah, I think it was our import. So we'll start an import route for silk. Import it from the French market, so it's not coming from a middleman as the Brits. And this is actually apparently profitable. What we can then do is, does the U.S. have a source of engines? Do they have engines in their market? What we need to know. Trade routes. What we want to do is now. We might want to just produce more paper as much as we can. Or produce more lumber, which might be easier. Lumber and grain we'll start with. So for now, what we're going to do, build. We already built this up a bit. Let's build up these to level 2. But first, before we get down to level 2, we're going to get this level to level 1, and then build that one up to level 2 again, and this one up to level 2. From there, what we'll do is we'll swap once one of these is built, we'll change this to this one once the farm is built, and yeah. On this trade route. I wonder if we could get like a monopoly type thing on silk imports. If we import it from different, like take all the sources and then use that as like a way of building up our trade in the US. Britain might be the only one that's not profitable because they currently don't have a source of silk that they are producing. So we might cancel that trade route even though we were trading with Britain primarily. Because that's going to drop down our profitability on these two. And then we might create an export route, but we want to see what is currently most profitable for exporting. Tobacco, cloth, or mostly cloth, but also oh, we don't have any convoys. We might need to cancel one of these import routes. Because the convoys is a problem. We might need to build a port, actually. I thought I built a port, but maybe I didn't change the... Huh. We'll have to see about that. We do have a port, apparently, but we don't have it on the method where it's going to produce infrastructure and convoys. So that could have been also helping us make less money. Or not helping us, but like causing us to make less money. We don't know, though. We may not know for a while. But it does look like we've stopped losing money as fast. Although suddenly our standard of living decreased, and we'll have to see about why that is. Cancel that. We can start these buildings. Realistically, we might have to... I don't know. It's possible we might wind up declaring bankruptcy again, but what we can do is stop the construction from the government buildings, or the government construction. Build a construction industry in Florida, or construction sector, whatever it's called. And from there, we can do... Keep the method at wooden frame buildings. We'll need to increase our production of lumber and cloth. We do that. But one thing we can do... Just trying to think. Just... Government dividends. They're kind of decreasing. No, actually they're increasing, but some of them are... I don't know. It's like our economy is doing fine. I wonder if... But it was doing fine, but now it's not, is my point. But I wonder if I decrease the taxes, if that'll... I mean, obviously in the short term that's going to be negative, but this game does have a realistic economy setting. Or not setting, but situation programming, where like if you tax people too hard, it'll make the economy worse. So why is there a budgets map mode? Where is it? Is that the only way to get to it? Organized crime, buddy. Get the fuck out of here. Oh my god. Jeez, we fucking went bankrupt again. That's funny. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it just is. Trying to figure out how we can keep from repeatedly going bankrupt. Because right now we're in default and we're not bankrupt yet, but maybe we are. That's unfortunate. We have a good investment pool, so what we might do is try and transition over to, rather than constructing all our buildings ourselves, which I'd like to do in the early game so we can get a control over how our economy is being built up around, using some of this investment pool in order to build up our economy. So unfortunately, very unfortunately actually, might have to fucking clear it again. But this time we're not going to make the same mistakes. Okay, so we're gonna construct one construction sector. We're gonna lower our taxes and our expenses on everything. So projected weekly balance +1 from the current, 200 from the current. +3 from the current. Okay. What can we tax that will give us the most benefit with the least kind of effect negatively? I think that would be probably, realistically, tobacco and one other vice tax, maybe. Like alcohol, if we can find that. Liquor. But I don't know, it's like we might be better off. Services and alcohol, maybe, or tobacco. We'll have to figure out a way, like a tax code that's working for us. Because right now, we're losing a decent amount of money. and we need to figure out what it's causing that. I think it's mostly the paper we're producing, or I guess not producing for this government administration. Because this building alone is costing us like 1,000 gold. Not to mention that's just for wages. No, that's for wages and material expenses. So, maybe if we change it down to this function, it'll cost less. That might be the way to go. That cuts the expenses down to from about $700, £700, whatever it is. But if we can cut the expenses more, we might be better off. Okay, for our port, we could probably cut the expenses by a lot, actually. So, we got it down to only 80 for this versus 800 about. So that'll be good. Now, what we need to figure out is if we can maybe make more on our tariffs by importing something else. But the one problem with that is we need to have what we do import, or if we find something we can export, for example. One thing I'm thinking we could do to get possibly our government dividends higher is, so this is producing luxury clothes. There's not a lot of consumption for that in our territory. Only 0.41. We produce way more than we use. Same thing in the US market in general. So what we could do is send it over to Mexico or Britain, because the entire US market is where we can export things to, right? So if we had a border with Britain, which we do, same thing with Mexico, and actually Colombia or Brazil too, because of Venezuela. So we could export to any of those nations, and we'll see what we can do with our I'll sort it by minimal convoys. British market doesn't need a lot. It's sorted by productivity. Amount. Okay, so our best bet is Sweden, it looks like. And then Ecuador. Ecuador might be a good trade partner, but right now we don't have them in the US market. This might be good for like kind of changing the way of drawing them closer into the US market. Because even as a subject, we do want the US market to be larger because it'll give a wider export range for our goods that we're producing. So we're gonna look at sending one to the Swedes for actually just it's only. So we're both the max value in the respective country. Ecuador is a little bit more relative value. What I'm looking at is here and here. Ecuador is also more we'll just start an export route with both of them, and from there what we're gonna do, head over to the market tab, see which one is producing better after a minute or two pass by. It looks like they're about the same. They're actually exactly the same. I don't know why that is, but it might take a second to calculate out. But now what I want to know is, would it be lessened if... And also, one thing we need to figure out is, if we cancel this one and import from a different source for a silk, would that cause the convoys to be less cost? It might. We're gonna do that and that. Then grab our silk for our import. Find the source that does not take a ton of convoys. Actually, we could do it from the British and it wouldn't take any. We'll do that. That way we don't have to increase the infrastructure on our port. And we can now... I didn't mean to do that, whatever. We can now also export to a wider market. So now for our 2 export routes on luxury clothes, we're going to take this off of no priority and focus it on exports. That might also improve our income. And now it's on that one too. Okay. What I'm thinking is we might be able to... Let's see. Huh. Wonder if there's a source of silk we can get so we don't have to import it. Alright, in the case now that we're having a negative balance on convoys, I'm going to cancel the export route to Ecuador. And I think that might improve, yeah, it does improve the efficiency of this one. So really, I'm thinking now our main problem is that we have this contract with diplomatic pacts. Because until we get our independence, this is going to be a problem with our income, because we're taking like a percentage of all of our income is going towards these packs. Or we might start trying to build up our foods industries. But until then, we're going to work on continuing our... Okay, so we want private construction to be enabled. So what we're going to do is build a construction sector in our territory so we can use the investment pool that we have built up. Because that way we'll start improving our GDP and income as a nation from taxes without having to be building construction continually. And thinking, do we want to... Is there anything we can enact? We might want to enact some kind of healthcare system. Because, let's see. Yeah. Let's see. I don't want something that's going to raise our costs yet. So, we're either going to do this, or we're going to do this. Or actually, this has a high chance of not passing, so we're not going to do that just yet. But I think we're going to do this because this will help everyone, no matter what your situation is. So, yeah. Opium. I don't want that for our citizens. We don't want that yet. We're gonna wait till we have a larger population. So I don't want to get our population unproductive. I don't even know if that's an effect that is in the game where it causes your population to be less productive, but I would imagine it would be. Or they'll enact it later into the game. In a minute, we'll be able to cancel our construction. Or not cancel, but like stop the building. It's kind of cool how in-depth this goes on literally every population, or every pop in your game. Let's see. What's the main cost these people are having? So they're like the average citizen, right? So, lower class, but like, let's see. We could improve. Oh, what the heck? How did we all of a sudden have massive gold reserves? And others? Huh. Okay, so we're gonna cancel construction. Check what's going on in private when it comes to investment. We still need to balance our budget, so we're gonna have to figure out what we can do to do that. Right now, our wages from our university are high, so we'll see what we can do there. I've noticed it's a lot of what we're having issues with is not necessarily the wages, but what is the wages actually? I don't know. I don't want to delete this, but I guess if we are going to use it, we might as well have it be more efficient. What is that? That's like 100 more, plus you get like one more innovation, 5% more qualification. So we'll just trick it up to the higher percentage or higher efficiency. Sorry. No, it's whatever. I didn't really read that one, but whatever. Uh, okay, so what can we do in order to improve our situation? Maybe better off as independent because let's see, our government wages are the problem, right? So I really don't want to delete what we've built for this because it's helping, but is it helping more than it's hurting? That's the question. I'm gonna do a save in here and see something if it fixes it. So save, save that. All right, because I want to see if this helps at all with our government wages cost. Because right now that's our biggest expense is all our government wages. So what is this giving us? Right now this is giving us 20 convoys, so we won't be able to export our, well, not without issues. So we may not delete this. First, what we'll do, will we have issues with this? Let's see. Base value is 30 with 100, and then we have 35 from something. What does this give us? 35. So that's, we'll still be above the what we need from that. Still be above. Let's see. University is second on our inefficiencies of cost. Now, do we want to really delete the university? I don't think we do, but let's just see just for testing purposes. And if we delete, so we're still losing money from government wages. But the good thing is we're still positive on this. So, but it's like, did we really just like? Because that could have costed us a lot of money. So first, before we do this, let's see if we can so we can import that with no cost of convoys. This is currently not costing us any money, or not making us any money. So what we'll do, we do need the silk. So what we'll do in order to lower the cost for our buildings is drop the tariff off on this. And I want to see if there's anywhere we can export our luxury things to. We're just gonna leave it as something we basically chalk up to, like if we, for example, government wages are costing us 398 pounds or whatever that is, and tariffs are only making us 4.46. So we'll just drop this off. Keep that for our import reasons. It doesn't cost any of the convoys. Now, if we, let's see, we're gonna keep this in the military stuff. But if we now, okay, so we almost are basically at like nothing cost wise. The only thing we have costs is on our construction sector. we still are losing money. The one good thing is we're not bleeding money now, so we could manage by only building like economic buildings, not building development buildings down here for a while. So let's see if we can do that. See if there's anything else we can optimize. Until we can get our railways to be fully efficient, we're not going to run our okay, what I'm thinking, we're going to take this off of railways. And let's see what it does when we do this. Okay, so they're all more efficient realistically without railways. We're going to keep the railway on with maybe we'd be better off changing the functionality of this to not use luxury sewing and just canceling our export route. Import route, sorry. The one thing that's good to keep in mind is if we can get tools, which we do have a source of tools because we're in the American market, we can enable this. So we'll do that right now. This. Although that's going to destroy our trade center, so what we might do is keep our import route from Britain on dyes or silk, and just try and boost the productivity of this. Scroll up. Enable sawmills. Enable railroads. Because what I'm trying to figure out is our best bet of improving the efficiency of all of our buildings right now. Because I think that's the main problem that'll put. Well, if we solve that problem, that'll put us over the edge of like not being in the positive on income. And one thing we could do actually is rather than like taxing like vices and services, we might be better off trying to fix things by I wonder if we lowered our military, not in our necessarily in our not necessarily lowering our like where the fuck is that shit? What I'm trying to figure out is if you lower the function of the like what the military is composed of. If like for example, if I drop it down to a lower type, would this cause like a lessened cost for wages? I'm wondering. It might. And that might make it worthwhile to yeah, let's see. Let's see what that does. Okay, we're gonna pause now and we're gonna see what that does. Okay, so it is going down with our expenses. Military wages are going down. The one thing that will, I think, put us over the edge is closing the port. I think that's what that is. Construction sector, we don't need that closed necessarily. Goods for military buildings. But I think we're just gonna have to close our military, and use a major power if we want to get independence. Because really, right now, our goal is mainly to build up our economy. We're not doing that while we're in the negatives. So we're gonna drop this guy off. But let's see. I don't even know how to expand a military. I never did that before. I never normally do that, but I'm thinking we're just gonna roll with the base. Okay, now it's at. Okay, we might actually be fine. Yeah, I think we're good. We just need to work around our like you can't try and like build yourself up to higher than you are in this game as a nation, especially with your economy. Like it's fine if you're like a small nation with a powerful economy, but since this game is primarily based around economics, um, you can't overspend. And we started to do that early on in the game, or like midway through our like around 1840s when we were at war with a couple nations because the U.S. warmongering. And we're positive once more. This is great. Okay, cool. Yeah, see, this is when we started building government buildings. And for every one we built, it would cause a greater kind of downturn in our economic situation. All right, I think we're going to try and get an investment agreement with Cuba, but to do that, we might need to negotiate with Spain. Yeah, it's in the Spanish market, so Alright, give me a moment. Alright, I'm back. I was talking to a family member. Let's see. What were we doing? I think our goal, once we build up our military, but did we unlock? I forget. Did we unlock? What's it called? Oh, it's kind of surprising. We're gonna want to change to a professional military soon, a professional army, but not yet. What is our mouse doing? Oh, okay, never mind. All right, cool. All right, let's see how many employed we need, or employees we have waiting. All right, I think our next goal is going to be to build our sulfur mine that we've been waiting for. But for that, and in order to improve the efficiency of our logging camps, we'll want to build a tool mill. So, or a tool workshop, whatever it's called. So we're gonna do that next, and from there, that'll help with this and its costs, as well as that. Help with a lot of stuff actually. Same with this. So it'll decrease the cost of a lot of stuff, because rather than importing the tools for these buildings, so from there they're coming from Georgia, a couple up north. I don't know if it shows exactly where they're coming from. probably up here, realistically. Okay. So what are most expensive, most basic goods with local prices? Realistically, paper is pretty high for how much we use. Why is our production so low on that, by the way? It's confusing. We're gonna need to fix that. Let's see. It's because we don't have any employees for this. Jeez. Okay, so what's our goal gonna be? Greener grass. We want social mobility. Okay, and then also maybe if we remove segregation, because that's like that really causes a negative to anyone who is not the primary culture wanting to immigrate here. And if we have more people wanting to immigrate, also this helps this healthcare system. But yeah. Because right now our population actually dropped over the last like certain number of years. I don't know why that is, but maybe we had a migration away, possibly. The surprising thing is we do have a pretty high migration attraction for our territory, um, but because we're an insignificant power, I don't know if you can see that right there. It'll go away, but if I mouse over it, but yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we're not really a major migration target right now, so that's fine. I think if we build up the subsistence farms to some other kind of arable, whatever, not arable land, some other kind of like production, we should be able to improve our GDP. I'm probably only going to be live until about 1, but that's fine. Does the US not have any other source of luxury clothes aside from our production? I don't think they do. That's good for us, actually. The one thing about having tariffs on both the import good and the export good um, for our textile mills, it's going to make them less profitable. So we'll have to keep that in mind and adjust it as needed. We may want to expand these at some point because they are doing pretty well. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But I'm gonna go grab a coffee in a few. Um, so I'll be back probably about, I don't know, about 4 o'clock on. But before I'll be back before that. But I got to do some stuff around the house. To like clean my room and help around the house. Just get ready for Thanksgiving. 'Cause we're having guests and then we're gonna go over to family members. Once the guests are here. My brother's visiting from Los Angeles. But yeah. One good thing about that is it'll give me some time to think about what I want our next series to be. Because the game Victoria 3 only goes until about eight. I think in 1920 something. It goes to about the end of World War One era. Maybe 1929. Who knows? I think you can play after that. I'm not sure, but I don't really know because I kind of stopped playing after the 1929 or after the World War One era. I don't know if you can continue after that. You might be able to. Did we end up finishing our tool workshop? No, we didn't. We might end up actually offering the U.S. a investment agreement. I don't know if they have that currently with us. We could do it with Britain just to get someone else kind of invested in our territory, so that if we want them to get involved in a campaign against the U.S. to get us our independence, they would have some incentive. Yeah, we're gonna work on Britain and Spain. France doesn't currently like us. I don't know why. I mean, they don't dislike us, but they're domineering toward us. So we don't want them trying to take us over, just to like become not a subject from U.S. just to become a subject of France. So that's not good. But we could work on that. We also could use our diplomatic influence to try and sway one of these Southeast Asian nations to give us access to invest into their territory. So what we might do, rather than focusing on the Caribbean, that's highly contested by the American powers and some of the Europeans. So what we could do, where is silk produced? So right now, our main industries are paper production and luxury clothes, but we don't have a source of silk. So what we could do, find where silk is produced by going here and showing potential production, right? So China has a lot of potential production. If we could get trade access to China, that'd be golden. But right now, we're focused on really anywhere. I don't know if China has any territories in Indochina region, right? Do they? Let's see. They don't. So, disinterested. I wonder if we placed interest in this region if either of them would change their opinion. Right now, who has a current interest in this region? China definitely does. Cambodia. Cambodia might be our best target for I don't know. We would, because the thing is, if you're gonna be getting a treaty port, we would want to work with Cambodia, or maybe not work with, but work against. But if we want investment properties in this region, we would want to go with Siam, because the problem with going with the smaller nation in your investment is you can. The one good thing about it is you can get a lot of influence in their country, but the problem with it is if they get conquered, you lose. You don't always lose access to your investment, but you can, and it's better to go with the more major power in the region. So we're gonna pin Siam, and we're gonna pin Dynam, and we're gonna pin Cambodia. I don't know if we can. We can. Just for the sake of it. Improve with all these guys over here. Burma, yeah, I don't know. Okay. And the good thing about improving with these nations is the one thing about that is you can occasionally get migration waves from nations that you have high relations with. I've noticed. I don't know if that's an actual factoid or if it's just like something that I noticed that occasionally happens more likely than if you don't have relations with any nation. So, for example, Argentina, we haven't interacted with them at all, but